So in the world of content, the intent of your content is everything.
Today I'm going to pass across to our very own Martin Knapp from the Southeast Wealth Management and Bookable with a foresight that is entitled How to Make Your Business Unique. So Martin,
indeed. Ooh, just in time. Bam. For the whole thing to go to pot. Love it. I'm bringing my coffee with me, excuse me. Let me turn this back on. Boop. And hopefully we'll be back up. Yeah, so how to make your business unique. A few things we're going to talk about today. I'm just going to kind of ramble and roll and whatnot. First off, I used to send out printouts for every kind of foresight that I did, and I'm kind of sick of killing trees. So please just go to bookable.online, and there's just a small blog post with this link. You can download this cheat sheet yourself if you want to. So how many people here in business are here to make it? They want to grow beyond their village, beyond just helping out mom and pop and their friends. Anybody? Oh, we got a few. Okay, good answer. All right. So what, to you guys in the room who want to, I guess, make it, what does being unique mean to you? Let's talk to Let's. What do you think being unique in business means?
What do you think being unique means in business? Offering something different that people aren't receiving from somebody else. So for me, it comes down to the way that I deal with that individual and the interaction I have with them.
There you go.
The next person.
Yeah. That's USP, definitely. Unique selling proposition and whatnot. But essentially what I mean when I say being unique in business is when somebody thinks of, hey, I need this thing done, they only think of one person. So when somebody thinks, I need wealth management, even though, believe it or not, he and I are in the same game. But when somebody needs a pension done, they just think, oh, I don't need a pension. Let me just call Adam. And that's all about having the right assets in place, which we're going to kind of talk about here in a minute, and having the right audience analysis in place. God bless you. So this cheat sheet, in order to become unique, unique status, let's see here, if I can just do that. There we go. So everybody kind of starts out, I'm a big fan of ladders in my graphics. When everybody starts out in business, of course, you're going to start small, you're starting basic, and you're just trying to get your name out there. We're all familiar with the man with the van. I apologize for the decorations, but I can't control everything. But everybody starts out with a man with a van, and basically you're just known through your small circle of friends, maybe your village or just the housing estate and whatnot. And my favorite people to pick on as far as this example are window cleaners. Because we all see the window cleaners going around, and there are big posh window cleaners with all the hoses coming out of their vans and stuff like that. And then there's other people that are just kind of like, hey, you want your window clean? And they might knock on your door, and that's their entire marketing department. Those guys, those men with the vans or women with the vans, I don't discriminate these days, they're pretty much doing it for what I like to call beer money. They just want a pint at the end of the week, right? And their entire marketing department, they don't talk to Omnicom about having any bump. Their entire marketing department is just a scrap of paper through your door, right? Because they're just after beer money. They're just after having a good time. But if they want to grow, some of the things that I've noticed over the last several years, if you want to grow beyond just your friends and family, beyond your housing estate, your first step is you're going to need some bump, a little bit something a little bit more appropriate than just a scrap of paper ripped out of a napkin or something like that. So you go talk to that guy. See, I'm not allowed to sell my own stuff, but I'm going to try and sell your guys' stuff, right? Absolutely. So what he's hoping to do, what Omnicron, I want to call Omnicon, but Omnicron is trying to do, is when you think of printing, you don't think, oh, I need a printer, you think of them, which hopefully most of you in Maidstone do. And now the interesting thing with that is we have several people in competition with one another in the same room today. What is it beyond just your product that you can offer to make it to unique status? Status or status, depending on the side of the pond that you're from. Now, one of the first things you can do, aside from assets, is kind of get in the right mindset. We talk a lot about mindset at Bookable. But one of the ways to kind of differentiate yourself, you need to start building what's called a business moat. A moat, if we think about the castle in the days of Ors, a moat around a castle kept the enemy out, right? And what a moat means in business terms is it essentially means you have a system in place or a product in place that is not easy to replicate, all right? So if I wanted to go into the mobile phone business, it's pretty darn tough to start out from scratch building a mobile phone. I suddenly have to compete with Apple and Samsung. That's a pretty good business moat. I can't just whip that up in the bedroom over the weekend, right? So pretty good business moats. The more things you have in place that are less difficult to replicate, the easier it is as far as competition-wise for you. So starting out with your business moat, things where people go wrong when they're at the man with the van stage, getting to skilled craftsmen, is usually the first thing they offer is 24/7 service. That is the most simplest thing to replicate. Oh, I'll be available for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, until the next guy at the next table in the networking meeting realizes, oh, I can be available 24/7. Suddenly you're out of business, or there's nothing different about you. Folks that are just graduating from school, all right? Generally, the first thing that you have is you have a whole bunch of knowledge. Everybody, hopefully, can read books. Everybody. So the difference between you and somebody in business is experience. So the more experience you have, the more of a moat you have. The more specialist experience you have, the even bigger moat that you have. So for instance, in the United States, going to medical school. If you want to go to medical school, everybody can be a general surgeon or a general practitioner, no problem. The guys that make the money and the gals that make the money, pardon me, are the specialists, the vascular surgeons, the cardios, all that jazz. Those guys make 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 pounds a year, and they fly all over the country just doing specialist surgeries. Why? Because I need a heart surgery, I call Dr. So-and-so. I don't look through Google finding the best heart surgeon or anything like that. Does that make sense? Hopefully. All right. After that, so man with the van, to get up to skilled craftsmen, these are kind of your assets that you need in place. So you're going to need you're going to need some robust tools. Tools are one of the best ways to differentiate yourself. So somebody who has extreme coding skills versus somebody who just knows HTML and CSS, right? That's a pretty good moat. And you're going to need an attractive website. So you need to bring in graphic designers, and the more artistic your graphic designer is, she's a visitor, we're going to get you to join us, don't worry. The more artistic your graphic designer, the more of the moat that you're going to build, right? So that brings you up to skilled craftsmen, where suddenly you have a website, you have some bump, you might even have a full business plan. Where is my, there's not a business coach in the room? Oh my God, amazing, that never happens. Kind of. Do you do business plans? Yeah. Can't. He's like, I do now. Anyway. So yeah, you might have that work of fiction called a business plan in place, bump, website, and whatnot. Suddenly, people beyond your village, beyond your housing estate, know a little bit more about you. The more of a moat from there, competition gets a little bit more stiff, because all of a sudden people outside your housing estate are using really good graphic designers and artists for their website or for their bump or something like that. Their websites are more dynamic and interactive and are actually more like back-end platforms rather than a brochure site. All right? So to get to unique status, basically you have to become more innovative, or innovative as they would say here, I think. You have to become more innovative. So you're basically creating products that nobody's ever heard of. You're creating content that nobody's ever heard of. One of the things that Dan Kitchener and I talk about all the time is kind of the what is it again? I'm going to screw it up. The intention of your message or something.
The meaning of your communication.
Thank you.
Is the response that it gets.
Yes, absolutely. So how they respond to you is actually what you said, not the words that you say, but their response. So in the world of content, the intent of your content is everything. And Mr. Felton is correct. If you have a website or whatnot that isn't converting, You don't need to talk to a graphic designer. You don't need to talk to another web designer. You need to talk to a content person because it's not engaging them enough. It's not saying something that resonates with them. So I'm going to pick, that goes into our buying triggers. I'm going to pick on you again. Do you remember the 5 buying triggers? Ah, all right. Oh, no. Well, she paid attention in the workshop. All right. So, it's okay, June. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, not created by me, created by the marketing guru, Mr. Seth Godin, but your 5 buying triggers that cause people to purchase anything, not just stuff that we sell in this room, but anything. You have number 1 is status. So people might buy something because it gives them better status. So people who buy De Beers diamonds versus, I don't know, Zales jewelry, which Zales is in the States. All right. So status. The second one is affiliation. Affiliation is all about who am I standing next to in the queue. So affiliation would be somebody like who works in politics. How many doors down from number 10 is my office? In that world, that matters. Might not matter to us here, but that definitely matters over in Westminster. After affiliation, another buying trigger is dominance. Dominance is, can I jump the spot in the queue? For some people, that matters. So for instance, I like to pick on Harley Davidson versus Ducati. Ducati people, they just want to blow the doors off of a Harley Davidson. Harley Davidson people, they have a different buying trigger. They're all about belonging. They're all about, do I have a spot in the queue? Are we all kind of following the rules of the queue? So, for instance, Harley Davidson, there are people with Harley Davidson jackets, Harley Davidson posters, Harley Davidson tattoos, and they do not own a Harley Davidson. It's kind of weird, but it's this belonging to a community that matters to them. And that's where we get into audience these days. Most of you who are in small business, I don't think we have any huge businesses here, or WPA, wherever you are. But even for you, if you really want to make it beyond your estate, beyond your village and whatnot, you need to build your own community. And that gets into brand. That's an even much bigger moat where, we got turned off again. Anyways, you can download the cheat sheet bookable online. Where were we? Brand, audience, blah, blah, blah. Your messages, the intent of your messages, the intent of your content and stuff like that need to fit your audience, and they need to have these 5 buying triggers. Right? Your 5th buying trigger is what's called scarcity. Pretty much religion is sold on this. Anybody who's into the actual selling of religion kind of stuff. So we're talking about like Seventh-day Adventists and the big tent traveling snake oil salesmen, stuff like that. You're going to go to hell. The people that chase you down the road that say, have you heard the good word? Here's the brochure. Take the brochure for God's sakes, because you're going to go to hell. They're selling scarcity. Do I have a spot in the queue at all? So other than that, those are kind of the basic forms of what you need to get to unique status, to get yourself known throughout the region. Somebody who wants to dominate the Southeast rather than just their village, you need to start focusing on those things. Which leads me to questions. Anybody have any questions?
We've got 4 minutes of chat.
That's okay. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have, who's struggling with what in their business? We'll work on it right here, right now, in front of everybody. Who's not embarrassed? Oh, yes, ma'am.
I struggle with people valuing how much it costs to produce this artwork.
Mm-hmm.
When they can just go get it printed.
I can go to Fiverr and get some, yeah. Right.
How do you change the mindset of people that are looking to save a buck?
Well, that's a little bit of fishing in the wrong pond, trying to save a buck. So don't even, you could just say, hey, you're not my customer, kind of thing. You could argue, and this is me being a little bit brusque for a moment, you could argue if people aren't valuing your content enough, which basically you're putting out a type of content, visual content, if it's not just grabbing them and making them go, I don't care what price that is, I want it, work harder. That's the thing. That's the problem these days. Everybody has all the, we have Adobe After Effects, Photoshop, Lightroom, blah, 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 blah. Somebody who really wants to put in the time can make something super spectacular. So you have a lot of stiff competition. So I'm not saying you're not good enough or anything like that, but sometimes it's the same kind of problem as my website isn't converting. It's because the content isn't engaging enough. You need to create, everybody needs to create a product, work hard enough for people to just not care about what the price is. It could be also the way you're approaching them, or this is where we get into sales process. Sales process, you could be talking about price too soon. If you just talk to them, there's another right above the unique business cheat sheet. There's another one, the sales process cheat sheet. Check that one out. The client journey is really important. Those who are pitching, we talk about pitch all the time, myself and Elaine. It's all in the pitch. You know, same thing with if you're married, if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. I don't discriminate. Right? It's all in the pitch. There's somehow they did something correct that nobody else did to get you go on that first date. Right? So think about, don't bring up price too soon. Just show them the stuff. And if it's awesome enough, they'll buy each and every time.
Thank you.
Okay.